In this first part of the journey, the beginning, we're going to help you learn how to control and hold on to your nunchucks. We're going to show you some drills and some techniques, all the basic stuff you need to get well on your way. We're going to put you on a path and we're going to help guide you through it. At the end of this tape, we're even going to show you an explosive, award-winning form. So hang on, here we go. I want to introduce to you today your guides as well as members of Team Sundragon. With me today is Sensei Eddie Boyce, who is the Academy Director as well as the Captain of Team Sundragon. Also with us today is Sensei Aurora Dubell, who is a Program Director and an instructor at Sundragon Martial Arts Academy. Let's get on to the journey.
Sensei Chuck has been studying the martial arts for 15 years, starting back in the days of basic training in the Navy from 1983 to 1987. After his 4-year tour, he started in an Ishin-Ryu karate dojo in Dover, Delaware. After a year of training, he found Wing Chun in a brand new academy in Dover. Years later, the Wing Chun school went out of business and he traveled over an hour north to seek Shaolin training, which he did for several years. It was soon after he met his current master, Grandmaster Kimmerlin. Sensei Chuck was trained and still is a student of Grandmaster Michael Burke of American-style Nunchaku. In the year 2000, he founded the Underground Kung Fu Association, a Jeet Kune Do school. In 2002, he purchased Sundragon Martial Arts from Richard French in Florida, and the United States Martial Arts Association recognized the art of underground Jeet Kune Do, an art founded by Sensei Chuck. Sensei Chuck is a second Dan black belt in American-style Nunchaku, a second Dan black belt in underground Jeet Kune Do, a member of the World Black Belt Bureau, and a member of the United States Martial Arts Association, best known for his line of Sundragon Nunchaku that he created. Sensei Chuck takes great pride in the quality and uniqueness of Sundragon Nunchakus. Today, Sensei Chuck owns Sundragon Martial Arts Academy in Camden, Wyoming, Delaware, together with his business partner and friend Sensei Boyce, along with Sensei Dubell. They head up Team Sundragon. Sensei Chuck has competed for years in not only weapons division, but Shansao and kickboxing as well. He still travels with Team Sundragon and competes regularly all over the United States.
Hi, we're going to talk about warm-up exercises. The first thing in any exercise program is proper breathing. So we're going to breathe in through our nose, all the way down to the bottom of your lungs, and out through your mouth. In through your nose, and out through your mouth. This is very important. Breathing does need to be practiced, and later on we'll be adding kiyas into our forms, so practice your breathing. A word on kiya. Kiya is your energy. It'll come out as a yell in your forms. What you'll want to do anytime that you're striking, you'll want to breathe in, and on that strike you'll want to kiya or breathe out. Ha! Side stretches. We're first going to stretch our upper body. You need to take your nunchakas, place them out in front of you, place your hands about center of each stick. Hold it as if there is one stick. We're going to raise it above our head. We're going to bend over to the right, being very careful not to bend forward or back. We want to keep our body lined up here. Then we're going to go back up to center, over to the left. It's very important when you're doing these stretches that you do about 10 of them and hold them for 5 seconds on each side. Left and back up to center. Leg lunges. For your leg lunges, we're going to hold our nunchakas in the same position that we held them for the side stretch. We're going to place our right foot in the back in a forward fighting stance or a front stance. We're going to swing our right leg up only waist high and to the back. We're going to keep a straight leg. So we're going to swing it up and back, up and back. We'll switch legs up and back and up and back. You'll want to do this about 10 times on each side. As you progress through the months, you'll see a gradual progression. You'll be able to go higher and higher. Keep practicing. Side block stretches. For this stretch, you'll want to take your right hand and place your nunchaku about center of the stick. You'll place it over your shoulder, take your left hand, reach underneath, and grab your other nunchaku. Later on, you'll learn the proper terms and techniques for this. You'll want to get into a lower stance, feet shoulder width apart, knees bent. We're going to roll your nunchaku out to what we call a blocking position, and then over to the left. Back out into a blocking position, over to the right, back out, and over to the left. Back out. Again, you'll want to repeat this about 10 times on either side. Our next exercise will be arm stretches. This will stretch the upper and lower arm or your bicep and your tricep. Again, you'll want to hold your chuck in your right hand about center. You're going to place it over your shoulder in the back. You're going to place your left hand underneath your chuck, grab a hold, and you're going to pull up, and then you're going to pull down. This stretch, you'll want to hold it 5 to 10 seconds, 10 times on each side. Your next stretch is a full circle stretch. It's going to go completely around your body. Most of the drills and techniques that you will be learning ultimately will go around your body, so this stretch is very, very important. You want to take your nunchakus for beginners and hold them at the bottom of each stick. We're going to hold it in our blocking position. We're going to turn it upside down. Take your right hand, drop it behind and below your left hand. You're going to pull your left hand up, and you'll be in an L position right here. We're going to take our left hand over our head, twist it around their back, and come to hold our chucks in a straight stick position. You're going to take your right hand, bring it up, turn it so that you're actually scratching your back and going underneath your other chuck. You're going to come into another L here. You're going to roll it back out to center. I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate this stretch without stopping. It's also very important to do this stretch 5 times on the right and 5 times on the left. Okay, let's recap these warm-ups. You have your side stretch. You want to go to the right, center, and to the left. You want to do that 10 times on either side. 5 seconds each side holding. You have your leg lunges. Up, switch, and up. You want to do that 10 times on either side. You have your arm stretch. You want to pull up for 5 seconds and down for 5 seconds. You want to repeat that 10 times on either side. You have your side block. You want to roll it out, take it to the other side for 1. Roll it back out. Take it to the other side for 2. You want to do that 20 times. That'll be 10 on either side. You have your circle stretch. Your circle stretch, you want to start on the ends. You want to take that and work it 5 times on the right and 5 times on the left. Okay, you've completed your warm-ups. Let's get ready to work.
When you hold your nunchaku like this and you lay them down the back of your arm, you should have approximately 3 fingers. This will be anywhere between 12 and 14 inches depending on your arm. If you rolled your arm over, it'll come about right here to the bend of your elbow. This is another good way of measuring. Again, this will be between 12 and 14 inches. Once you've sized up your nunchaku and you got the proper size, what we want to do now is talk about the proper grip. Today you're going to see us hold our nunchakus in a lot of different places for a lot of different reasons. So as you do our exercises, I want you to do our exercises and our drills, holding them in different places in the nunchaku. A lot of people is going to tell you one grip's right and one grip's wrong. Honestly, I believe it's just a different way of holding it. No grip is right, no grip is wrong. It's a preference and how you feel. Some moves will require you to hold them at the top. Some moves will require you to hold them in the middle. One thing I want to add, when you're holding them to the top and you're throwing out a figure eight, you have much more control over your nunchaku as you would as holding it to the end, because you have a lot more strain on your wrist and you're going to wear out a lot quicker. So in the middle is pretty much ideally where you'd want to start when you take up with our art. With that said, enjoy the journey.
I want to tell you a word on SRMS, Sun Dragon Reaction Memory System. This is a process in which you take a technique, add it to another technique, put it into a drill, and then work it. By you working this drill constantly, working it back and forth, the techniques that help make the drill that helps make the techniques, you work into a system that constantly flows, and after a point, you no longer have to think about it. It becomes a reaction rather than a thought process, which makes it flow a lot smoother. This is Sun Dragon Reaction Memory System, and you're going to see it work here today. During the beginning part of your journey, we are going to be using Tiger Claw's 12-inch rubber nunchakus. This is imperative because during your practice, as you're learning the skills here today, from time to time you're going to get a scrape or a bump. It's best to start with the rubber nunchakus for your safety. On proper stance work, the first thing I would like to show you is a proper way of bowing into an academy class. The first thing you're going to do is place your nunchaku in your right hand. You're going to lay it down to the side of your body, stand up straight and tall, and when the instructor gives you the signal, you're going to bow in as so. Hey! And prepare. Knees are slightly bent, your feet are shoulder apart, your chuck is firmly in front of you with one in each hand. On the next stance we're going to show you, it is called the fighting stance. First fighting stance, okay, I have the chuck over my right shoulder, my knees are slightly bent. When I look down, my toes line up pretty close to my heel if there was a straight line. So if I put my opponent in front of me and look at a straight line, my front toe is lined up on the line, my rear foot is lined up on the line. My knees are slightly bent for protection. I can bend in or move with them. Chuck is over the shoulder, right hand is ready to strike when I need to, my left hand has a catch. We will go into catches later on. The next stance we're going to show you on this part of the journey is the guard stance. The chuck is located underneath your right arm. Again, my knees are bent, my feet are placed firmly on the ground, and I've got the 20-degree angle of my toes pointing over here. My lead hand is giving me some protection for defense, protecting my center line. This is the guard stance. The next stance we're going to show you here today is the fighting horse stance. We're using a horse stance where your feet are a little wider apart than shoulder length and your knees are very well bent, your back is kept straight. The chuck is laid over your right shoulder, again in a fighting type stance, but this is the fighting horse stance. Let's get the journey started. The first technique you're going to learn is called the simple up. It's probably one of the most important techniques you're going to learn. This is why it's number one. The simple up. I want you to put the chuck in your right hand. Place it somewhere close to the top, but not quite all the way. Take the chuck and throw it over your shoulder. Now, here's where we're going to practice this a little slow. If you keep your elbow out and you look down, you should be able to see your chuck. If you can't, you need to adjust your chuck and hang it down a little bit. And the first thing I want you to practice is I want you to lay this chuck down right beside you and plop it up. If we get into a horse stance, put it down, and pop it up. And the first thing you start looking for is you start looking to see that you can see the chuck coming around your shoulder. Because the rest of this technique is you're going to learn how to catch it. Throw it up over your shoulder and catch it. This technique takes a little bit of practice. Once you have it, it helps guide you through the rest of the techniques. Work this on the right, then go to your left and work it on the left. This technique is called the simple up. The next technique we're going to do is the arm switch, the basic front arm switch. It starts by doing exactly what we were doing, a simple up. But what we're going to do is we're going to simple up and we're going to hold it there. We're going to release the upper chuck with our top arm, and we're going to pull it through with our opposite arm, and we're going to throw it back on the other side. Looks something like this. Pull it down, pull it through. This is a basic arm switch. You're going to do the same thing. Release the top, pull it through and grab it. Like any other technique, you need to practice this over and over to begin to feel how it feels, how it works. This next technique, we're going to show you the arm switch behind the back. In order to show you that, the first thing I'm going to show you is how to catch it behind your back at the angle. First thing I want you to do is put the chuck right here in front of you, and I want you to swing it over your right shoulder. But before you do that, I want you to take your opposite hand, your left hand, put it back here on your hip. Take this chuck and try to find a catch for this other chuck. Now what we're doing is we're catching this chuck behind the back. Remember, the chuck finds the hand doesn't find the chuck. This takes practice. You're finding the right angle to swing this chuck to place it in your hand. You're going to catch it, you're going to release it with this hand, and you're going to swing back around and catch it again from the opposite side. This is how you practice the arm switch behind the back. Again, you drop the top, pull it through, and go right to the other hand. Now we're about to learn the first drill. This is the first drill of the Sun Dragon reaction memory system. This is called the 1, 2, 3 drill. This is where we wrap up the first couple of techniques that you've learned with us. We put it into a drill and let it sink in and become part of your memory system. The 1, 2, 3 drill comes from the fighting horse stance that I showed you earlier. Knees bent, shoulder feet apart, chuck on your right shoulder. We're going to be doing an arm switch, but we're going to add something different. We're going to add a switch across the back. So follow along with me as I count here. You're going to do one arm switch, and that's going to be 1. 2 arm switch, 2. And on number 3, it's going to go across the back. And you're going to hold it there for a second so you can remember what you're doing here. This is number 3. As soon as you pull it back through, it's 1 again. 2, 3, across the back. Every third time you go across the back, and you'll note it's always on the opposite side. This is good practice. Again, 1, 2, 3. One thing to keep in mind here is that your chuck is finding your hand. Your hand's not fishing for your chuck. When you first start, you're going to be fishing all over the place, trying to hit your angle, trying to catch the chuck. But the bottom line is, one of the things that will help you is you put your hand there and just keep throwing the chuck. You will find what angle that you need to bring the chuck over your shoulder at. It will fall right into your hand after you find it. Once you find it, you know where to go with it. You keep practicing it. The 1, 2, 3 drill helps you get there. Again, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. The next technique I'm going to show you is called the guard technique. What I want you to do is I want you to take the chuck and throw it over your shoulder into a fighting stance. I'm going to demonstrate this to you, and then I'm going to break it down for you. This is the guard. You saw the stance earlier. Now I'm going to show you how to go into the stance. We're going to break it down to 2 steps. The first thing I want you to do is I want you to take this chuck and I want you to swing it over your shoulder and lay the chuck horizontal with your body, pointing out. Pop it back on your shoulder and do it again. You'll find that the momentum of the other chuck is already wanting to swing into a circle. This is a good looking move. Bring it down. Now what I want you to do from laying here, horizontal, is I want you to make a circle with your chuck. Circle it 1 time over and bring it in. You can start off wide like that. I'm doing that for demonstration purposes. From here, swing it wide, pull it in. Catch it with the arm. It's important to know that this part of the chuck that you're catching is the chuck that's not already in your hand. I am catching the second part of the chuck. Common mistakes are if somebody catches this chuck that's already in their hand. The back chuck will come up and hit you in the head. That's why we're using rubber nunchakus when you first start off. Again, the guard comes down here, part 1. Part 2, wide swing, pull in. When you're comfortable with both steps, you will start putting it together. 1, up. 2, up. 3, up. 4, up. Switch to the left. Once you have got it down the right, we want you to start going to the left. Take the chuck, work the same angles. 1, 2, up. 3, up. 4, up. Okay, on this technique, this particular technique works mainly your feet and your switch at the same time. You're going to switch in step in this technique. Most of the Sun Dragon reaction memory system drills are based on this particular drill where you step and switch, coming and going back and forth. Let's start from the fighting stance. What you're going to do is you're going to switch, but at the same time, your right foot is going to come up close to your left foot and switch out into an opposite fighting stance. When I go back, I'm going to bring my foot up here and switch back in the opposite stance. Again, I come up, protecting my center line, and roll out and pivot into an opposite fighting stance. When retreating, I come back and go back to the original fighting stance. But we're going to add a switch with every step. From the fighting stance, we will switch in step. 1, back. 2, back. 3, back. 4, back. 1, back. 2, back. 3, back. 4, back. 1, back. 2, back. 3, back. 4, and back. Now we're putting several techniques together and putting it into a drill, the guard drill. This starts from fighting stance. Go! Starts from here. From a fighting stance, you're going to go to a guard. You're going to simple up. You're going to switch and step and go to a guard again. Simple up, switch and step back. Going to walk it through again. Guard, simple up, switch and step. Guard, simple up, switch and step back. Guard, up, switch and step. Guard, up, switch and step. Guard, up, switch and step. Guard, up, switch and step back. Guard, simple up, switch and step. Guard, simple up, switch and step. I'd like to say at this point, pick up these techniques in order, practice them, train them, work them on both sides, but stop where you're at, go back, learn them, and then come back and continue. There's going to be many times during the filming that you need to stop, practice, absorb the technique, and then come back. This will be less chance of injury to yourself or others. Okay, the inward figure eight block. At this part of the journey, we're going to have to work a little harder. What I want you to do is I want you to take your right hand and I want you to put it close up on the chuck that you have. The more closer you are to what we call the bridge of the chuck, and that's the bridge between the two sticks, is the rope that we call the bridge. The closer you are to it, the more control you have over the nunchaku. And what we're going to do is we're going to perform a figure eight block. The block comes up towards your face, moves from you and comes back up towards your face. This is a figure eight block. Now, the best way to describe, explain to you to train this, would be to take this chuck, roll it one time inside, towards your body, and then one time outside. Use more wrist than arm. Common mistakes are people try to use their arm and get screwed up here. What I want you to do is use your wrist. Take this chuck, swing it one time inside, one time outside. Sometimes it's better just to hit your own arm as you're trying to get this technique, just to get a feel of where it should be going. If you're using the rubber nunchakus, this will not bother you. Inside and outside. If it helps you any, go wide with it until you get the feel of it. As you progress, this is where you're going to slowly get to. Note the wrist is turning upside, right side, not my arms. My wrist is doing most of the work. I tell all my students if they take something, a pinpoint target, and put it in front of them, and try to put the end of the chuck that's swinging on that target, it keeps a tighter figure eight block. This is a technique that you must practice over and over again. It will come. The figure eight strike. The figure eight strike is basically the opposite of the figure eight block. The figure eight block, the main purpose of that is to keep people at bay, where the strike does the same thing, but with more of a punch to it. The strike goes the opposite way. We're going to be taking the nunchaku and going outside. This is a demonstration of the figure eight strike. It's leaving the face and going down. Again, the way to practice this is to take the chuck, start by going to one side, and then rolling your wrist and going to the other. One side, then swing it to the other. Most people will start like this, wide, which is okay. You've seen that in the movies. Wide figure eights. What we do at Team Sun Dragon is we tighten it up. We look at that target I told you to look at earlier, put the end of the chuck on it, and it makes a nice, tight, pretty figure eight strike. If you take your chuck, simple up, from here you can throw the figure eight strike, right from the simple up or the fighting stance. You launch out, figure eight strike, and catch it. Simple back up, launch out, figure eight strike, and catch it. Simple back up. the tornado drill. We're going to take the figure 8 block, we're going to take the figure 8 strike, we're going to put it into a Sun Dragon reaction memory system drill called the tornado drill, and we're going to work it. It's very imperative that you've been practicing your right and your left figure 8 blocks and strikes. This drill will help you practice on both sides. We start this drill from a fighting stance. We're going to throw out the figure 8 strike, and we're going to catch it. Then we're going to throw out the figure 8 block, and we're going to catch it. Then we're going to switch and step. We're going to throw out the figure 8 strike, catch it, figure 8 block, catch it. We're going to switch and step back. And the tornado drill looks something like this. We're going to speed it up just a little bit. Figure 8 strike, catch it, figure 8 block, catch it, switch and step, figure 8 strike, catch it, figure 8 block, catch it, switch and step back, 8 strike, catch, 8 block, catch, switch and step, 8 strike, catch, 8 block, catch, switch and step back, 8 strike, catch, 8 block, catch, switch and step, 8 strike, catch, 8 block, catch, switch and step back. The body slap technique. A body slap is a technique designed to absorb the chuck when it comes back to your body. It's also designed so that when you throw a technique from a certain part of your body, you'll be throwing it off of the body slap. First of all, understand, this is called the bridge. From one stick to the other, the rope between them, again, is called the bridge. When we hit ourselves off of a technique, we tend to hit ourselves with the bridge of the chuck. That's what we call body slap. If you hit yourself with a chuck, it's going to cause injury. If you absorb it with the bridge, the chuck will then tend not to hit you all the way. It sort of rolls. Your body absorbs most of it without a slap. It's just an absorption. So the body slap technique can be off any part of the body, depending on when you need to use it. If you're coming through with a strike and you miss, you're going to absorb it by body slapping off your hip. Or if you hit your target and it bounces back, to stop it from hitting you in the head or hitting another part of your body, you're going to absorb it with the bridge of your chuck. This is called a body slap. Later on, we're going to drill with this body slap. The first strike technique. This is appropriately named because it is the first strike you're going to learn in our system. What I want you to do is get in a fighting stance. Okay, the first strike comes down at a diagonal angle. This would be like a collarbone break. It's going to come down at an angle, and your body's going to absorb it with a body slap on your other side, hitting the hip. From that point, I want you to roll the chuck back to the other side, another body slap, and then pop it back up. Now, I'll give you a little helpful hint here. Once you come down and go here, I want you to bring your chuck right there for a second, and I want you to bounce it off of your hips. This is going to be helpful to a lot of your strikes. Get that feeling of bouncing it off your hip. Back and forth. Now what I want you to do is pop it up. The first strike's going to shoot down at an angle. You're going to bounce it back to the opposite hip, and you're going to simple up. First strike sounds like this. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. The side strike technique. Unlike the first strike, where it comes down at an angle, the side strike goes horizontal. It's thrown from the same position now. So from the fighting stance, we're going to lunge out horizontally across the front. We're going to body slap it off the opposite hip. We're going to swing it back to this hip with that other body slap, and we're going to pop it up, just like we did in the first strike. This is called the side strike. Comes out, bounces, comes back. For long shots, this can be what I call a kicking range weapon. You can put the chuck at the end of your hand as so and extend your strike even farther for a distant strike. You can keep someone at bay with this from a longer shot. Side strike. Ready? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Again, I can't stress enough how important that you need to learn and practice the techniques in the order in which I'm showing you here today. The journey is real important on the foundation, the beginning of your journey. To practice, stop the tape, go back, practice the techniques, right side, left side, do the drills, come back to me, and then move on. It will make the rest of your journey a lot easier and a lot smoother. You might notice that right now we're beginning to work with the Sun Dragon Nunchakus by Tiger Claw. We went to the wooden ones now. I do not recommend going to the wooden ones any sooner than you need to. Once you're comfortable and you have the basic techniques, then you can go on to the wooden nunchakus. These are very light. They can still cause injury though. The front strike. The front strike is a strike that we use in close. I call it in punching range. We've already shown you the first strike. We've also showed you the side strike. They're mostly shots that come from a distance to keep people at a longer shot away from you. The front strike is thrown from inside. In order to practice the front strike, you need to go to a guard. Guard? What we're going to do is we're going to extend this chuck out from here and strike a horizontal shot directly in front of us. Then we're going to body slap it right below our arm over here, and we're going to bring it right back into a close-in shot, because generally the front strike is done in a tight quarters, so everything's done tightly. Here's the way that it should look. Ready? Front strike. Okay, I recommend when you pull this front strike that you twist your wrist just a little bit here. As you pull this out, this other chuck is riding across your arm, slipping out, going horizontal, shooting here, and then rolling back in. A lot of times you can keep tension here on the bridge by just pulling on a little bit. Pull it out, and then bring it back. Don't jerk it out, pull it out, and bring it back. And this is the proper front strike. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Basic blocking. Basic blocking with the nunchucks. We're going to hit 4 angles right now to start you off. The first angle is called a front block. This is coming from a downward strike from a staff or a bat. And what you're going to do is you're going to hold both chucks, you're going to step away, and you're going to absorb with your chucks the downward strike. This is a front block. It's real important to keep your chucks at a V. If you try to block it here, it will collapse and cause injury. You want to keep it at a V and have the bridge try to absorb most of the shock. Front strike. The forward block will be coming from an upward strike. It's the same principle. A downward V blocks the upward strike. So we got the front block here, the forward block here. The sides are very similar. You take the chucks, think about driving a car. Here and here. Same principle. Keep it a little bit V, absorb the shock. Absorb an upward angle, a lower angle, side angle, or a side angle. Sensei Boyce and Sensei Dubell are going to demonstrate this. The first block is a front block. 1, 2, 3. A forward block. 1, 2, 3. A side block. 1, 2, 3. The other side. 1, 2, 3. The first block, front block. 1, 2, 3. A forward block. 1, 2, 3. A side block. 1, 2, 3. The other side. 1, 2, 3. The first strike drill. We've covered some of the strikes. You've got a good feel for it. I know you've been stopping, practicing, and coming back, right? So now we're going to teach you the next drill. This is again part of the Sun Dragon reaction memory system. The first strike drill starts from a fighting stance. Hey! What we're going to do is we're going to throw the first strike. We're going to bounce it, get back into a simple up position, and switch. Throw the first strike, bounce it back, pop it up, switch, and do it from the other side. First strike, bounce, simple up, switch back. Looks like this. Ready? 1. 2. 3. Switch. Switch. And 4. Switch. Switch. 1. Switch. Switch. 2. Switch. Switch. 3. Switch. Switch. 4. Switch. 1. Switch. Switch. 2. Switch. Switch. 3. Switch. Switch. 4. Switch. Switch. The body slap drill. Now we're going to combine some body slaps, give you several angles of body slaps, and put it into a drill, a Sun Dragon reaction memory system drill. Body slap drill number 1, we're going to call it out in sequence because you're going to memorize where to go on each angle. After you do it a few times, you don't have to call it out anymore. But it starts from the fighting stance. Hey! What we're going to do is the first angle is going to be the inner thigh. We're going to go thigh. Again, I'm hitting with a body slap. The bridge of the chuck is hitting the inside of my thigh. We're going to go back up, shoulder, hip, shoulder, thigh, shoulder, hip, and back up, except this time when you go back up, you're going to go across the back. Let me repeat that. Thigh, shoulder, hip, shoulder, thigh, shoulder, hip, and across the back. Then we're going to switch and step up. Now we're on the opposite side. We're going to use the opposite amount of body slaps in the same sequence. Thigh, shoulder, hip, shoulder, thigh, shoulder, hip, across the back, switch and step back, and you've done the complete body slap drill. Thigh, shoulder, thigh, shoulder, hip, across the back. After the second hip shot is when it goes across the back. Let's demonstrate. Fighting stance. Thigh, shoulder, hip, shoulder, thigh, shoulder, hip, across the back. Switch and step. Thigh, shoulder, hip, shoulder, thigh, shoulder, hip. Cross the back, switch and step back. Again, thigh, shoulder, hip, shoulder, thigh, shoulder, hip. Cross the back, switch and step. Thigh, shoulder, hip, shoulder, thigh, shoulder, hip. Cross the back, switch and step back. Side view. Ready? Thigh, shoulder, hip, shoulder, thigh, shoulder, hip. Cross the back, switch and step. Thigh, shoulder, hip, shoulder, thigh, shoulder, hip. Cross the back, switch and step back. Again, thigh, shoulder, hip, shoulder, thigh, shoulder, hip. Cross the back, switch and step. Thigh, shoulder, hip, shoulder, thigh, shoulder, hip. Cross the back, switch and step back. Rear. Thigh, shoulder, hip, shoulder, thigh, shoulder, hip. Cross the back, switch and step. Thigh, shoulder, hip, shoulder, thigh, shoulder, hip. Cross the back, switch and step back. Ready? Thigh, shoulder, hip, shoulder, thigh, shoulder, hip. Cross the back, switch and step. Thigh, shoulder, hip, shoulder, thigh, shoulder, hip. Cross the back, switch and step. Catch behind the back technique. Another technique that you're going to need for a lot of the drills that are coming up. What I want you to do is put the chuck in your right hand. I want you to take the chuck and I want it to point right towards your belly. I want you to practice keeping the chuck no further than an inch or two away from your belly, bouncing it off your hips. Okay? Sort of like a little hula hoop here. Bounce it back and forth. Then what I want you to do is I want you to put your hand and catch it behind the back. Just catch it, let it go, bounce it a couple times, and then catch it. Now I want you to release this hand and bring the other hand around. Back and forth, and then catch it. Work this back and forth. This technique needs to be practiced back and forth. Get it to where you can flow, back and forth. Keep it nice and tight, close to the body. You'll need this technique in the upcoming drill. Simple up. Around the neck technique number 1. What we've got to do is we've got to send this chuck around our neck, catch it, and be safe about it. So what I've done is I'm going to piece together a couple techniques for you to help you get it around your neck in this particular way I want you to do it. So what I want you to do, first thing, is put the chuck in and hold it at this angle. Okay, at this angle, I want you to look across eyesight at your fist with the chuck pointing down. And I want you to swing this chuck and land it on your shoulder. This is the way to first start practicing it. Now, let me explain. What you're doing is you're teaching the angle to bring the chuck up to the catch. The common mistake when trying to go around the neck is people hit themselves in the middle of their back because the angle of attack is wrong. If you start from here and bring the fist, your knuckle, right there in eyesight at that angle, and start from here, you're going to throw the chuck up here on your shoulder and bring it back down. Practice this a couple times. Get familiar with the angle that you're using to get the chuck over the shoulder. Okay, now I'm going to show you a couple ways to catch the chuck around the neck. Most beginners like to put their hand right here. They know where the chuck's going. They've practiced this angle of attack that I've showed them, and they're just catching it right there in their hand. The hand's already right there. Other people like to catch it after the chuck has already made it, and they catch it from the outside. There is nothing wrong with either way. There's two ways to do this, outside or inside. As a beginner, I'm going to recommend that you put your hand right up here and get used to finding the chuck, because the chuck will find the hand. Then, when you're comfortable with that, you're going to release this hand, bring the chuck back around, and pop it up. Let's break the whole thing down now. Earlier I showed you around the back. from here, I want you to catch it around the back. And I want you to swing this chuck out, bring it up to where I told you to bring it, and swing it around the neck. Catch the chuck, bring the chuck all the way down, and pop it up. This is the whole technique, around the neck 1. Fighting stance. First strike. Around the back, catch. Around the neck, bring it down, and pop it back up. This is around the neck technique number 1. Again, first strike. Around the back, catch. Around the neck, down to the hip, and catch. Side view. First strike. Around the back, catch. Around the neck, down to the hip, simple back up. Again, first strike. Around the back, around the neck, back to the hip, simple up. Back view. First strike. Around the back, catch. Around the neck, down to the hip, and simple up. First strike. Around the back, catch. Around the neck, back to the hip, and simple up. Around the neck 1 drill. You just learned around the neck technique. Now we're going to put it into a reaction memory drill. This drill works both sides, so you need to practice. So I hope you've been practicing before you get to this point. We're going to start in a fighting stance. Hey! We're going to go again with our first strike. First strike. Around the back, around the neck, down to the hip. We're going to pop it up. Then we're going to switch and step. We're going to do the first strike on the left side. Around the back, catch. Around the neck, down to the hip. Simple up and switch back to the same position. Here's how the drill works. Ready? 1. Switch. Strike. Switch. 2. Switch. Strike. Switch. 3. Switch. Strike. Switch. 1. Switch. Strike. Switch. 2. Switch. Strike. Switch. 3. Switch. Strike. Switch. Review. 1. Switch. Strike. Switch. 2. Switch. Strike. Switch. 3. Switch. Strike. Switch. We're going to now show you the double. The double is a technique that you can use on the techniques that you already have. Basically, when you're doing a switch, anytime you're switching, you can throw a double. Let me explain. From a fighting stance, when we do an arm switch, we're basically switching to the other arm. It's very simple. Now what I'm going to do is when I bring to do the switch, I'm going to pause for a second and show you what I'm doing here. The chuck is hanging here. I'm going to give it some momentum, add a little upward strike to it, and have a little flash to it. We're going to swing it once inside the center of the body. Once inside on the switch. Be careful. As a new person, you try to do this double too close to your body, your nose is going to get hit with your chuck. It's not a pleasant sight. Start from the fighting stance, nice and easily. Swing it one time towards you, just like that. One time to center, then bring it up. It makes an ordinary switch like this look like this. As you get better at it, the whip is the speed. You're actually whipping it as you come through. It gives a good noise, plus it's an upward strike. Okay, fighting stance. Now that I've shown you the double, it comes up to the purple 1, 2, 3 drill. The purple 1, 2, 3 drill basically takes the 1, 2, 3 drill that you learned at the beginning of the journey, and we had doubles on the exchange. This way you practice it on the right, on the left, and from behind the back. From a fighting horse stance, we're going to go with a double, and we're going to go 1, 2, and then 3 with a double across the back. And then we're going to go 1 again, 2, 3 with a double across the back, 1, 2, 3 with a double across the back, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and guard. Hey! The stinger form. Hey! 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 Cha! As you perform the drills, techniques, and forms, you paint your own picture. You will create your own style. You will become the artist. The area in which you perform will become your canvas. Your movements and techniques become the brushstrokes that create your forms. When you present these forms, you create a picture for all those who watch you. Each of us have our own style. We could each draw a picture of a cat, and no two would be the same. So it is in Nunchaku. I can perform the stinger form, and while the techniques and movements are the same, we each interpret it differently. I urge you, as you practice these drills, techniques, and forms, don't just copy what we do. Find inside you your own personal style. Put your signature on all that you do. The stinger. This is an exciting form that we're going to break down into 5 different parts. First, we're going to stand up here, and you're going to put the chuck in your right hand, and we're going to prepare like we do in the beginning of a class. We're going to come out here. So when I enter into a tournament, the first thing I do is I bow, and I prepare. And this is the first section of the stinger, the form called the stinger. We're going to prepare, and we're going to step out with a side strike. This is important. This strike, you should hear the wind whisper as you go by. It should come out. Nice and long and hard hitting. And this is going to body slap. We talked about earlier doing the side-to-side body slap off the hips. You're going to utilize this now in the next 2 moves. This chuck, after you've done the side strike, we're going to step across our center line, but briefly. As soon as we hit that center line, we're going to pivot right towards the back. As soon as I step, I'm going to pivot. And there's that hip-to-hip motion. My chuck is now on my right. I'm facing the rear. At this point, I'm going to simple up. I'm going to go into a guard. I'm going to step through, step across my center line again, make a direct pivot towards the front, and go into a 180 block. That's what we call it. Figure 8 block. Pop it up and rest there for a second. Again, from here, I'm going to step out with a side strike. I'm going to step across my center line, pivot with the chuck to bring it to my right side, pop it up, go into a guard, step across my center line, come back up in a nice low stance with a nice 8 block. And pause there for a minute. This is the beginning of the stinger. Part A of the stinger. Two. On this second part of this form, the stinger, from here you caught it. I want you to look to the left as if you see upcoming danger. Step out to the left with a right 8 strike, catch it. Then a front strike, catch it. Simple up. Double up to the exchange, step across your center line and pivot. Okay, again, we left off here. We caught it. We look to our left, see danger. We shoot a right 8 strike, catch it. A front strike, catch it. Simple up, double on the exchange, step across our center line and pivot immediately into the opposite fighting stance, facing this direction. Part B of the stinger. Hey! Hey! Okay, now we're moving on to part C of this form. This is where we left off. We had our right foot forward and the chuck was over our left shoulder. At this point, we're going to do a left 8 strike and step through. Follow me closely on this. We're going to shoot a left 8 strike. We're going to catch it. We're going to step through heading straight with a front strike and catch it. We're then going to simple up. Now here's the tricky part. We're going to double as we exchange into a fighting horse stance. I'm going to show this at a couple angles. We're going to double into a fighting horse stance from here, facing the rear. Okay? So again, this part here, we're going to shoot that left 8 strike. We're going to step through with that front strike. We're going to simple up. We're going to double and step at the same time, so be careful on this exchange. We're going to double and go right into a horse stance facing the rear. Part C of the stinger, from where we left off. Take! Hey! Take! Hey! On the next part of this stinger, I left you with my back towards you. Now from here, I'm going to throw that right 8 strike again, and I'm going to catch it. And I'm going to throw that front strike again, and I'm going to catch it. I'm going to pop it up. I'm going to double over to the exchange, step across my center line, and pivot. As soon as my foot hits, step across. As soon as I step across the center line, I pivot. At this point, I'm going to throw a left 8 strike, catch it, simple up, double up into what I call a cradle. Now if you look closely, my knees are together, my feet are together, my back is straight, I'm in a fighting stance. I call this a cradle. Part D of the stinger. Hey! 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 We are now at the final drive of the form of the stinger. This is the sting in the form stinger, the drive. We left off here. We're going to shoot out a left foot with a right 8 strike. We're going to catch it. We're going to step through with a front strike. We're going to simple up. We're going to double over to the exchange and step out with a left 8 strike. Then we're going to throw out a front strike. We're going to simple up. We're going to double over. We are not going to catch it at this point because we're going to do the around the one technique, around the neck technique we did earlier. That's a side strike, catch behind the back, catch around the neck, and then from here, we're going to double up and double over and step it out. Right from here, this is a little tricky here. When we go around the neck, we shoot out here, catch around the back, catch around the neck, down, double up, double over to a cradle from the opposite side, and parade it out into this stance. This ends the form. The final part of the stinger. Shoot! 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 Cha! Shoot! 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 Cha! Hey! The stinger form. Hey! Hey! Cha! now come to the end of the beginning. We just finished volume 1. We have 2 other exciting volumes out there. In volume 1, we put together the basic techniques. We taught you how to hold and control your nunchaka. We even showed you an exciting form. Now we're going to take you in volume 2 and start expanding the techniques. We're going to give you some exciting techniques. We're going to give you another explosive form. At the end of volume 2, we're going to put 2 nunchakas in your hand. We're going to start showing you how to use them. Then comes volume 3. The most exciting part of your journey is wrapping everything you have worked for and put 2 nunchakas in, and we show you an explosive form at the end of volume 3, an award-winning form. At that point, we will then introduce to you some of our freehand style techniques. I hope to see you there.
Thank you for watching our video. We hope that you find it informative as well as entertaining. This video was brought to you by TC Media, who also publish Kung Fu Qigong magazine and kungfumagazine.com. These publications, as well as our vast video library, are just a portion of our offerings to you in the wide world of martial arts. Please take a brief moment to review our extensive collections of other products for the martial arts. Through our product fulfillment center, Martial Arts Mart, we bring you a complete selection of the highest quality products for the martial arts at affordable prices. We also offer valuable discounts and rapid delivery service by the most knowledgeable sales representatives. To receive a free catalog for yourself or your friends, please call us toll-free at 1-800-824-2433 or check out our online store at www.martialartsmart.com. Act now.